Everywhere you go, MTN.
I'm very excited, ladies and gentlemen, to be with you here. First and foremost, let me thank you for joining us so bright and early in the morning. Thank you to our viewers who will be watching us from our streaming live on YouTube. My name is Lion Imanzi. I'll be your host for today. And what a great time to be alive, and we want to keep it that way. So if we can keep to these COVID protocols and keep that safe physical distance, I'm removing my mask because I'm safely away from you. I will encourage you to keep your mask on if you can. And of course, for the speakers, once you're coming up to speak, if you're comfortable doing so, then feel free to remove the mask. But we just want to make sure that everyone is safe so that we can continue to witness such greatness. Ladies and gentlemen, please give yourselves a big round of applause for joining us for the Mtn Rwandacell PLC listing by introduction on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. This is very exciting. About a year ago, over a year ago, the world entered a time of absolute uncertainty. We didn't know where things were going, but today we are celebrating milestone over milestone over milestone. This is great, and we're excited about this. Now, before we get started, I would like to acknowledge our VIPs, our very, very, very special guests that are here with us tonight. Some of us who have traveled from far and wide to be with us. I will start, of course, with our guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Uziel Dajijimana. If you can give him a big round of applause. A nice MTN welcome. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. We are graced with the presence of other cabinet members. We have the Honorable Minister of ICT and Innovation, Paula Ingabire. If you can stand for recognition and wave to the crowd. Let's give her a big MTN welcome. We also have with us the Chief Executive Officer of the Rwanda Development Board, RDB, Claire Akamanzi. A big round of applause for her. Thank you for being here with us this morning. And we also have now one of the people who's instrumental in having made this day possible and this event possible. He's the CEO of the Rwanda Stock Exchange, Mr. Pierre Celestin Rwabukumba. You can set up for recognition. Everybody sing with me now. Now we also have the Acting Executive Director of the Capital Market Authority. I believe he might be here today. He should be here. Oh, there he is. Mr. Eric Bundugu. A big round of applause, a big MTN welcome. Now that's for our very, very, very special guests. But we are here also as the MTN family. Please, ladies and gentlemen, be welcome with a big MTN welcome, like you know, like only you know. Our CEO, the CEO of MTN Rwandacell PLC, Mitwangambi. Thank you for making this possible. We also have the chair of the board of MTN Rwandacell PLC, Evelyn Rutagwenda. Evelyn, thank you very much.
Everywhere you go,
now MTN is a big, 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 big family. So we are graced with the presence of our MTN group that came from overseas to be with us. And of course, I have to start with our president and CEO of MTN Group, Mr. Ralph Mupita. Oh, we can do better than that. We can do better than that. Thank you very much for being with us today, sir. We also have the VP of Southern and East Africa region of MTN Group, Yolanda Cuba. So nice to be with us. Now, we have a very familiar person with us today, a very familiar face, a very familiar voice, because he used to be the CEO of MTN Rwanda, and he's currently the VP of Western and Central African region of MTN Group, Mr. Ebenezer Asante. Nice to have you back, sir. Stick around. Thank you very much. And of course, I would like to acknowledge as well all MTN Group executives and delegates who are here with us tonight. Today, if you can stand up for recognition, we can give you a big yellow welcome. But some of them who are not here, we are. Oh, let's give them a big round of applause, everybody. Everybody. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Rwandan culture, we just want to give you a little bit of taste of it. For those of you who do know Rwandan culture, please enjoy this as well, because you know it's nothing short of magnificence. This right here, we are honored to have the #1 culture group in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Inganzo Ngari.
Rwanda ni wowe bwera getego ngo bakongwe endegera heno nyanzo ye nyaruna se bakongwe yakona kanira nganzo ngari z'u Rwanda Seroke bakongo namwe bakobwa binganzo ngare Nebo seroka nesheje abakobwa bo Rwanda ngone Ndagokeza nyanzobe nyarona se bakobwa Bakobwa maze ngone Rwanda rw'intwaro y'ubukombe wibarutse intwangari iby'ukuri rwose nke ziruharanira zirurwanira ng'umuco wacu udateza umwuka Rwanda rwatubyaye inkingi twegamyeho ngo ishema ryawe nirihinyuka Rwanda rw'intwari rubaye ubukombe
Rwanda rwagaza nabagije warutaganira nyiricumu ryagerera kane iwacu ikivumu cyangwa cyo bujije umutende kwirahira
aho ni wanyu basangira nyono
maze yambwiriwe hora burya ntarunguye murakumbura urwamaze impaka
urwano rwamaze impaka uratambuka neza rusirikana amakuzi ingamba zose batamukira guhakanira umukristo w'imihigo hamiriza neza ntore za perezida yego ye iyo mwiriwe ntarungu ku nkiko z'u Rwanda tambuka neza basonye nyine aho ni iwanyu nuko ukagira imana uratambuka neza ibihugu bya Rusengo naho abana b'u Rwanda
nimwumve ibyiza by'u Rwanda mahama
reka nsingize urwambyaye mahama
Rwanda rwiza Rwanda rw'imisozi u Rwanda rwacu rw'ibiyaga n'ibirunga bereza boromangama nimwumve ibyiza by'u Rwanda mahama imirambi myiza y'iwacu shenge amata abateza udatemuwe ibibaya bikini inyonge ku mugoroba inyana zitashye mahama nimwumve ibyiza by'u Rwanda mahama.
Wow, a big round of applause for them. Inganzongari, the #1 culture troupe in Rwanda. For those of you who are not familiar, you've seen the dances of the ladies that mimic the most beautiful of cows that we have in Rwanda, we call Inyambo, and the ancient warriors mimicked by the gentleman that you saw here. This is a little bit of a taste of Rwandan culture. Now, to keep this moving along, we're very excited about this news. We need to find out for a man who by himself embodies the vibrancy of the Rwandan economy and the vision that we have for this country. He's young, he's innovative, he looks forward to the future with innovative ideas. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to put your hands together and give a big MTN welcome to the CEO of the Rwanda Stock Exchange, Mr. Pierre Celestin Rwabukumba. Welcome to the floor, sir.
It's the first time I see a short podium. Yeah. I'm excited to be here. Looking tall. So our guest of honor, Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Ozier Ndagijimana, Mr. Ralph Mupita, MTN Group President and CEO, and your team present, Madam Evelyn Rutagwenda, Chair of MTN Rwandacell PLC, my good friend, Madam Mitwa Ngambi, CEO of MTN Rwandacell PLC, and your team. No offense to Mr. Asante, you are also my good friend. We started this a long time ago. Our regulator, Capital Market Authority, Mr. Eric Bondogu, ministers present, CEOs, captains of an industry, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, those physically here, and those virtually present in our current reality, of course. Please allow me to stand on all protocols in case I may have forgotten anybody. Good morning. It is such a pleasure to welcome you this morning to Rwanda Stock Exchange's mobile trading floor to witness this great event of celebrating and welcoming MTN Rwandacell to the official list of Rwanda Stock Exchange main market segment. A round of applause, please. To all of you who have been involved in this long process, for this great achievement, I really thank you with my heart, deeply. It's not been an easy one. We've had some run around to do, some fights, but they were all good fights for a good cause. It is double pleasure to me, as we all know, the world today is experiencing difficult times, unprecedented disruptions in the most recent history of our economies across the globe, in more developing countries such as ours in sub-Saharan Africa, due to the ongoing coronavirus, the COVID-19. I pay tribute to those who didn't make it due to the pandemic, and those, our men and women, in the front line to fight against it. I salute you. Thumbs up again for our government, for its leadership role, where many countries are really taking a big hit from the pandemic. We are not saved from that, but I think we have tried quite a bit with different efforts done by our government and the citizens of this country with our friends. I take this opportunity to thank the government of Rwanda, ably represented here by our Honorable Dr. Uziere Ndagijimana, the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning. The ministry you lead is not only the ministry in charge of the entire economic management of our country, but it is the most supportive institution to our young capital market. Again, Honorable Minister, thank you very much for your continued support in the development of our capital market. You are always here for us when we need you. As you know, the capital market business is all about capital formation that gets achieved from channeling long-term savings into the most productive and competitive sectors of the economy. Today's event is no stranger to that theory, as MTN could not have been on point, as it has chosen to embrace the capital market route as a way of giving the opportunity to the general public to own part of one of the most productive and profitable sectors of the economy, using their savings, but at the same time allowing the company to also expose herself to the highest standards of good corporate governance, accountability, and transparency that our country has been longing for. I've seen many regulators in the room. You can count on us as we move on with this journey with MTN Rwandacell. Again, MTN family, I thank you because you are showing a good example to the other private sector players in Rwanda and our region. I was talking to someone this morning, asking them if they got to know about this event of listing MTN Rwandacell, and that gentleman sent me a text saying, you know what, it is the biggest news in East Africa today. Well done, MTN Group. Well done, everyone who has been involved in putting the word out there, especially propping up the much hopes that have been lost for many shareholders of CTL. I think you all know where the share price is today. We don't know where it's going to open, of course. Those are market forces from now on. But the listing of MTN on RSC is, without a single doubt, good news that also prepares us to reflect as to what the listing means to our capital market and the country in general. The company joining the capital market, especially this time, as we celebrate our 10 years of operations as an exchange, is another big milestone for our market. MTN listing is particularly significant as it increases our market capitalization in a big way. Being of a good size, I must say actually it's going to be the biggest capitalization if it opens where we think it may. So MTN is particularly significant because it adds on the leading brands to the exchange and offering more visibility into the company's operations, which in turn should trigger more interest from potential new investors going forward. We hope that the yellow powerful brand recognition brought by MTN on the market will attract more private sector companies, both locally and internationally, to join the market, enjoy the benefits of listed companies. For the investor community and the general public at large, the listing offers an opportunity not only to partake in MTN Rwandacell activities, but also to have a direct ownership in the company. This listing on our young bourse is yet another vote of confidence in our market's ability to attract good, reputable companies and investors from everywhere in the world. It is a good signal for Rwanda as well as a country to showcase that we are open for business. Despite the current crisis the world is going through, we are still going to keep a leadership role as a gateway to investment opportunities for the EAC region and the wider continent. The exchange has, in 10 years of existence, made remarkable progress and played a significant role in the economic development of our country. The few key highlights for the past 10 years of existence, this journey of ours, are highlighted below. We have now 10 companies listed. Up from one company in 2011. A total of $1.1 billion was raised in this market so far. Equities and bonds valued at $324 million were traded in the secondary market, bringing the total value of transacted in the market close to $1.5 billion. The market is also in final stages of linking to the rest of the region, the other exchanges that is, in a bid to take advantage of the larger pool of investors and investment opportunities in the EAC region. So MTN joining at this stage, therefore, is a good opportunity for us to attract other investors in the region to also tap into what the company and the market have to offer. As for the RSC, by having MTN introduction, we are increasing our menu and diversification for our investors in our market. And the fact that the company is one of the biggest companies in Rwanda, it is a double plus as it will attract other investors beyond Rwanda. This can be a good impetus for our nascent Kigali International Financial Center. I've seen Mr. Nike Barigi around. You have a big job to do in its formation stage. It sends another strong message out there that we can achieve capital formation in Rwanda or through Rwanda for Rwandese, the other Africans, and our friends across the globe. Well, we will tell them that there are still opportunities and some money to be made in this region, and Rwanda is in the center stage. Our guest of honor, MTN family, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, I thank you for honoring our invitation and would like to thank MTN for having taken this bold step to introduce themselves to our official list today. Murakaza neza murisanga mu isoko ryacu. Like they say, everywhere you go, at MTN, at the Rwanda Stock Exchange, in our capital market industry, we say, wealth, a way of life. I thank you.
Can we please give him a big round of applause one more time? Thank you so much, Mr. Rwabukumba. Turamushimiye cyane umuyobozi mukuru w'isoko ry'imari n'imigabane hano mu Rwanda. Utunyuremo muri make urugendo rwabo kuva batangira muri 2011, anashimira cyane MTN Rwandacell kuba nabo binjiye muri iryo soko ry'imari n'imigabane, ndetse anaboneraho gushimira leta y'u Rwanda kubufasha idahwema guha abaterankunga ndetse n'abacuruzi ibigo by'ubucuruzi bitandukanye mu kugira ngo duteze imbere ubukungu bw'u Rwanda. Thank you very much one more time. Now, our next speaker, I could very well use the same kind of introduction. He's also young and also vibrant. He is the acting executive director of the Capital Market Authority, so the overseers of the Rwanda Stock Exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give a big, big warm welcome to Mr. Eric Bundugu. Welcome to the floor, sir.
Our guest of honor, Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Honorable Minister of ICT and Innovation, Honorable CEO of Rwanda Development Board and Cabinet Member, MTN Group President and CEO, Chief Executive Officer of MTN Rwanda, the Board and Management of MTN Rwanda, here present, Executive Management Team of MTN Group, here present, CEO of Rwanda Stock Exchange, MTN family, all protocol observed, yellow. Or good morning in another term. It is a great pleasure for me to witness today's listing of MTN Rwanda on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. This is a great achievement of the company, and please join me in congratulating the Board of Directors and management of MTN Rwanda for this unprecedented milestone. On behalf of the Capital Market Authority, I would like to thank MTN Rwanda's commitment to be part of the development of our capital market industry, particularly in financial sector at large. Here I'm mentioning financial sector, as you may have heard, MTN have just opened a fintech subsidiary that really shows the commitment to expand beyond the telecom sector. Today's listing by introduction will have not happened without a visionary and committed leadership of our country through the continued efforts of the government of Rwanda, through the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, to maintain a conducive environment to allow Rwanda's capital market industry to evolve. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Finance, for your continued support in this journey. Join me in thanking again the government of Rwanda's continued efforts towards empowering our private sector to take the lead in social and economic development of our economy. I take this opportunity to thank specifically MTN Rwanda today as another private sector business that has really taken up the challenge and accepted on taking such responsibility. With the purpose of the listing by introduction being to offer MTN Rwanda and its shareholders the benefit of the stock market, liquidity and price discovery, today's listing of MTN Rwanda on the Rwanda Stock Exchange is another opportunity to give to local, regional, and foreign investors to be part of MTN continued Rwandan success story. The listing by introduction of MTN Rwanda remains so far the first by a telecom operator in Rwanda and a second of its kind since inception of our market. Other listed companies that had done the similar transaction, I mean listing by introduction, are companies that have primarily listed in the East African community stock market, and you have one company that is primarily listed at the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the JSE. Such market development and deepening happened thanks to the regional integration agenda of the East African community capital markets by stock market regulators as well as stock exchanges. The regional integration agenda of the East African community capital markets is ongoing and actually at an advanced stage. It's aimed at integrating both the legal and regulatory framework, aimed to ease free movement of capital and services, as well as market infrastructure. As my colleague Celestine has just mentioned, stock exchanges in the region are trying to integrate themselves just to allow free trading around the regional bloc. And I'm sure very soon the stock exchange will announce that it can be ready to trade regionally. International integration remains a key priority for the government of Rwanda, as Rwanda continues to open itself to international markets through, among others, the recent groundbreaking vision by the government of Rwanda to position Rwanda as an international financial center, as well as maintaining international standards for market development, regulation, and investor protection. Such initiatives will increase the potential source of capital investment, as well as increase the opportunities for product diversification in our market. It is also anticipated through the International Financial Center and maintaining international standard that several businesses from our private sector, not forgetting those on the stock market, to take advantage and learn from this unprecedented milestone. The Capital Market Authority, in collaboration with the Rwanda Stock Exchange and our capital market license intermediaries, will continue to develop and deepen further our domestic stock market. We can, however, not achieve this objective without really collaboration and partnership from different stakeholders, from both the private and public sectors, starting with companies listed on the stock market. So we really count on you, MTN Rwanda, to help us achieve this objective. Today, the capital market is being developed in a holistic way, whereby the government of Rwanda had to commit on a 10-year strategic plan to really make the industry move in the right direction. And through this master plan, 10-year strategic plan, The objective is to make capital market work for Rwanda. Why this bold objective is, there is I would say a myth that some people think, especially even the private sector, that capital market is not yet ready for them. But I just want to demystify this today. And thank you, MTN, to help us to demystify this. The market is ready. Please do not hesitate to take the bold step as MTN has done. The 10-year strategic plan that has been identified and approved by the government actually aimed at identifying the funding needs. As you know, the socio-economic development will require long-term funding, so that strategic plan identified funding needs. It reviewed barriers that have held private sector businesses from using the capital market, and finally proposing measures, policy actions, to remove those barriers. The CMA remains committed to executing several key initiatives aimed at developing a more transparent, liquid, and accessible market, with a modern market structure to support the delivery of a wide range and diversified set of investment products. I can at least commit on behalf of the CMA that we'll keep implementing the highest standards of international best practices as far as stock market development, regulation, and investor protection are concerned. As we celebrate today's listing by introduction of MTN on the stock exchange, join me in congratulating and really thanking the board of directors, the management of Crystal Telecom, for a commendable job done in previously holding and managing 20% shareholding in MTN Rwanda for the benefit of CTL former shareholders, but now direct shareholders of MTN. Thank you very much, Evelyn and your team. As you know, both MTN Rwanda and Crystal Telecom transaction, by the way, will have not happened without the assistance of transaction advisors. And I want to thank today the transaction team, advisors team, led by BK Capital and Renaissance Capital from Nairobi, together with legal advisors and financial advisors. Karen, if you don't mind, and your team, please stand up. We recognize your contribution to this. At least I can confirm that your contribution did not go unnoticed. In concluding my remarks, I would like to commend the board of directors and management of MTN Rwanda and MTN Group for ensuring that strategic investment decisions, like taking the bold step that Celestine mentioned about coming to the exchange, are maintained in order to keep a positive impact on not only the company's shareholders' investment, but also to our domestic capital market and Rwanda's socio-economic development agenda at large. On behalf of the Capital Market Authority, we wish MTN Rwanda a great continued success as you continue different important phases of your corporate development journey. You can count on CMA support going forward. Thank you all for your kind attention, and God bless you.
Can we give a big round of applause one more time for Mr. Eric Bundugu? Turamushimiye cyane. Tumushimiye cyane kuba atubwiye mu ncamake uburyo bishimiye ko MTN Rwandacell yinjiye mu isoko ry'imari n'imigabane mu Rwanda. Banatubwira yuko hari gahunda y'imyaka 10 ya leta y'u Rwanda yo kureba uburyo kibazaho ubukungu bw'u Rwanda, hashyirwaho ingamba ndetse no korohereza abashoramari baba abo mu Rwanda ndetse n'abashoramari mpuzamahanga kugira ngo tugaragaze yuko isoko ryacu ryiteguye koko kubakira. Thank you very much, sir. Now, we want to hear from our MTN group. but from our MTN Rwandacell PLC group first. Ladies and gentlemen, this lady has a great vision for this company. Part of it is what we are witnessing here today, the listing by introduction of MTN Rwandacell PLC into the Rwanda Stock Exchange. So I need a big, big welcome for her as she takes to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, our very own CEO, Mitwa Ngambi, the CEO of MTN Rwandacell PLC. You're very welcome.
I don't usually write speeches, but today I had to write because I'm way too excited. Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Honorable Minister of ICT and Innovation, CEO of CEOs, Honorable Claire Kamanzi, CEO of RDB, MTN Group President and CEO, Mr. Ralph Mupita, and all group executives present, our board chair, Mrs. Evelyn Rutagwenda, CEOs of the Rwanda Stock Exchange, as well as the acting executive director of the CMA, all our shareholders, now direct shareholders, and all distinguished guests present, yellow. It really is an absolute honor for us to be joined by you to witness this really landmark event in MTN Rwanda's journey as we list today on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. I would like to start by really thanking you all, because when I do look around the room, I can tell a story out of each and every one of you of how you supported not only MTN Rwanda, but even me myself over the last 18 months. So thank you. Thank you. With the COVID-19 pandemic over the last 1 year, it has really renewed our sense of importance, or the sense of importance we place on the supportive relationships that we have, whether they're personal or professional, like the relationships that MTN Rwanda has with all of you. MTN this year celebrates 23 years of operation in Rwanda. And I know we wouldn't have been anywhere near where we are today without each and every one of you. The last 23 years, like Celestine mentioned earlier, have been years of milestone after milestone after milestone. Just to highlight a few, we launched in 1998, and 10 years later, in 2008, I wasn't here, but most of you were, we celebrated our 1 millionth customer. That was back in 2008. Then 2 years later, in 2010, we launched the MTN Foundation. And the MTN Foundation was meant to be that vehicle, and continues to be that vehicle, through which we invest in all our community-based projects across health, education, women empowerment, and youth empowerment. So we're not just a mobile operating company, no. We are one that continuously contributes to the socioeconomic development of this country as well. In the same year, we gave birth to a function, a department at the time, MTN Mobile Money. And I think we can all agree the leaps and bounds that MTN Mobile Money has grown today. So much so, as Eric mentioned, last week we announced the first fully owned subsidiary of MTN Rwanda called Mobile Money Rwanda Limited. Mobile Money today, it serves over 3 million customers every month. Every single day, it is a platform that transacts with over 2 million transactions every single day. To say that we are excited about the prospects and the future of digital solutions such as these would really be an understatement. But you know, this story of milestones, I tell it very proudly as an MTNer, but it's not our story alone. And I was really compelled to share with you a story of one young lady. This lady comes from Muhanga, in the southern part of Rwanda. And she started out as an MTN agent back in 1999, 1 year after MTN launched. And at the time, she was selling only physical scratch cards, you know, scratch cards and SIM cards, because that time we were not so green, you know. But now we are 100% digital. But that's, you know, years after 1999 when this lady from Muhanga started. The capital investment that she placed in her business was 50,000 Rwandan francs, equivalent today of about $50. And over the years, this lady's business grew as MTN grew. And one would argue that maybe MTN grew because she grew, not the other way around. In 2003, MTN adopted a regional distribution structure. So today we sit in HQ here in Kigali, but the country is divided amongst 7 distribution partners, most of whom are here today. And in 2003, that lady who started with $50 as an initial capital investment was appointed the distribution partner responsible for Muhanga. She has grown today to be one of our biggest distribution partners. And I'll have you know, I have permission from her to say this, but she contributes 10% of the overall business of MTN today. Oh, I'll share more. She runs monthly sales from that $50 of 350 million Rwandan francs every month. That is her airtime sales. So, Mama Lionel, muhaguruke, bababare. Mama Lionel. So Mama Lionel, as I fondly call her, is probably the only person in this country who wears more yellow than me. But thank you so much, Murakoze Chane. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been the story of MTN Rwanda, but also the many Rwandans that have been participants in our growth story. We have a network, like I said, of 7 main distributors who across the country help us in managing an agent force of more than 30,000 people across the country. The guys and the ladies who you see wearing yellow jackets as you drive around. But also, this network has grown in the last 1 year to include 60,000 mobile money merchants as well. In ending, I would really like to take the opportunity to thank a few people and a few institutions, of course starting with the government of Rwanda, through the Ministry of Finance, the Rwanda Stock Exchange, and the Capital Markets Authority, for giving us this opportunity to contribute to Rwanda's journey once again, but now through the capital markets. To the Honorable Minister Paula, who always challenges us to do more and be more in the development of the ICT sector, so that we can really cement the central role that technology has to play in the socioeconomic development of this country, I really do thank you. Our partners in this transaction, BK Capital, Renaissance Capital, ENS Africa, Ernst & Young, my gratitude to you is really, really bottomless. I remember when we started, we were completely clueless. And without your valuable input, to be honest, we would have been walking completely in the dark. So thank you. To the MTN Group, through our president and executives present, for reserving that really special place for Rwanda in the heart of MTN Group, something that is evident by the number of people who are here. When they told us 10 people were coming from the group, I said, why? But it just goes to show the level of excitement and commitment there is to Rwanda. To all our shareholders, our partners, our customers, for demanding excellence from us every single day, it only makes us better. So we thank you. And to the team, that is MTN Rwanda. But I haven't even finished. To the team that is MTN Rwanda, whose results I share today on behalf of, we shall continue to work together to build Rwanda through the vehicle that is MTN. Your passion, your commitment shines through every day. And very simply put, you guys rock. You really do. Today marks the beginning of an exciting new chapter for us as MTN Rwanda, and we look forward to our continued friendship, partnership, as we lead digital for Rwanda. Murakoze cyane.
Oh, I need to hear more applause for Mitwangambi. Turamushimiye cyane nawe ku magambo meza atugejejeho ku buryo atugaragarije urugendo rwa MTN, ibintu bahereyeho, aho bahereye ndetse n'ibintu byagezweho, uburyo haje kuzamo mobile money ikunzwe n'abantu benshi, ubu ngubu yabaye ishami ryigenga ariko rya MTN Rwandacell. Anatubwira inkuru y'umumama w'imuhanga watangiranye ibihumbi 50 muri 99, akaba ubu ngubu akuriye abaranguzi mu Muhanga, akaba acuruza miliyoni zigera kuri 350 nimba mbyibuka neza ku kwezi. Tumuha amashyi menshi cyane Mitwangambi, anashimira leta y'u Rwanda mu byimufasha no kuba bahawe nk'ikigo cy'ubucuruzi amahirwe yo kugira uruhare rukomeye mu bukungu bw'igihugu cyacu u Rwanda. Murakoze cyane. I feel like a little child in a candy store. All I want to hear now is that bell ringing. And we are getting there. But before we get there, I would like to also recognize Feleng Seka, who is the Group Executive Regulatory and Corporate Affairs of MTN Group. If you can give a big round of applause. And if you can stand up for recognition, take your flowers. You have been instrumental in making this happen. So thank you very much indeed. I would like at this point to call upon all our VIPs here at the front, in these 3 first tables, to please join us for this much awaited ceremony where as we officially list by introduction MTN Rwandacell PLC on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. If you can please rise up and join us at the Rwanda Stock Exchange board. Now we'll be witnessing as well some trading. That's very exciting as well. I've never seen trading live like this. This is going to be very, very exciting. To all of you in the first 3 tables, please feel free to join us. This is actually very exciting. Now, if we can make sure that we have a camera here to make sure that these images can be seen around the world for those who are seeing us streaming live on YouTube, and as well for everyone here. If you can direct your attention at the screen, they should be able to show you exactly what's about to happen here.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Oh, we're waiting for the bell to ring. Oh, we're ringing the bell. Trading is open. So what we're seeing here is some live trading. Trading MTN Rwandacell shares on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. This is going fast. Oh, we're loving it. As soon as we're done with this, we will kindly ask our VIPs to come to the floor for a group session photo.
I'm super excited.
I think the first price, opening price is 269. 1,500 shares. And I see a lot of offers and no bids at that price yet. So the market continues trading, and the rest will follow protocol. I wanted to remind us that what we are doing here, it's not only trading MTN. So we're just commencing trading for the whole day, even for other companies, fixed income, and all of that. This is just for starting. So the trading is continuing for a few minutes, and then later on, we follow protocol. Thank you.
So as mentioned, trading is continuing for all other shares, not just MTN Rwandacell. Now, if I can kindly direct you to the podium, so while trading is on, if we can have our group photo. If we can come up on the stage so that we can spread out and everyone can be in the picture. Now, I know we are wearing masks, but if you can smile under your mask, it will reflect in your eyes. We have everyone. Is everyone looking good? Great. Take a few more. Make sure somebody's not smiling. I've seen it. Let them all smile and they'll be ready to go. Thank you very much indeed. I think we're done with the pictures, right? Excellent. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Can we once again give everyone a big round of applause for this ringing of the bell ceremony? Very solemn, but very exciting indeed. Now, before we continue on, I would like to direct your attention to the screen before you, where we are going to watch a video that sums up the journey of MTN that is branded MTN Yachu, which is very telling because today we feel like MTN has become ours. The shares are trading. They are now in the hands of the shareholders directly. So we feel like we own a part of it. At least I feel I do. So go ahead with the video and enjoy it.
From commendable economic growth to various modern policies, Rwanda is an extraordinary gem. But it took a lot of effort to get here. Let us take it back to almost 3 decades ago.
Kuva 2003 nacuruzaga amakara. Guhamagara kera byari bigoye kuko umuntu yarengaga imisozi 2 cyangwa 3. MTN ahiziye mu Rwanda induhura kujya mu rugo kureba abana no mu bucuruzi bwanjye bikadufasha cyane. Mfite na interinete mu rugo abana bakoresha haba kuri WhatsApp haba kwiga. Iyo washakaga koherereza nk'amafaranga umubyeyi byasabaga kujya muri gare, ariko aho mobile money ziye uyashyira kuri telefone amafaranga akaba afite umutekano uhagije.
At a time of historic reconciliation and rebuilding of the country after the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, MTN set up in Rwanda as the first telecom in 1998. With the aim to help connect the nation.
I'm one of the first employees of MTN Rwanda, and I joined, I remember, in 1998. I remember we only had fixed lines. Even very few people had fixed lines in their houses. However, looking back and seeing where we are right now, you can see that actually MTN Rwanda has really grown over years. And right now, as we speak, we are talking of 6 million subscribers just on our network. So a very huge growth, and we are monitoring the growth right now. And of course, that has been caused by very good network quality across the country, not only in Kigali, but even all over the country. So our subscribers are enjoying that great network.
Rwanda is fast growing to become a digital hub. And alongside the country is MTN Rwanda, working with Rwandans and the government to make this dream a reality. And that is why MTN's ambition is to lead digital for a brighter Rwanda.
Maze kurangiza amashuri ya kaminuza nashakishije akazi nyine naganiriye n'umuryango mubwira igitekerezo mfite cyuko numva nakora akazi k'ubwagent muri MTN nuko nababwiye ko MTN n'umushinga wunguka natangije amafaranga 1,100 ariko ubu ngubu ngeze kuri miliyoni 3. Ndabona icyo ninjiza mu rugo cyo kurya, amafaranga yo kwishyura inzu, school fees z'abana, umugisha namaze kubonamo wundi ukomeye cyane, mfite mu kibanza nabashije kugura.
Rwanda is progressive and rapidly evolving with everyone's needs changing. In order to satisfy everyone's communication needs, MTN always comes up with solutions and innovations.
In our quest to contribute to an environmentally clean and green Rwanda, we have, for instance, digitized our entire distribution channel, ensuring that not a single paper or airtime scratch card is physically available in the channel. Our social investments are done through the MTN Foundation, the MTN Foundation being a part of the business that is funded by 1% of our profit to run all our community-based projects. The MTN Foundation is themed around education, health, youth empowerment, and women empowerment. At our core is also the desire to drive diversity and inclusion. And for that reason, 30%, a number which is growing, is represented by women within the leadership team. We're constantly challenging ourselves to innovate and solve societal problems. For instance, last year we launched the Connect Rwanda initiative, whose sole purpose was to make sure as many Rwandans as possible have smartphones and connect to the digital world, that way also increasing the smartphone penetration of this country. Over the years, we have created employment for over 30,000 agents that form part of our very dense distribution network. These 30,000 agents provide airtime and mobile money services to 6.2 million Rwandans across the country every day. Our 6.2 million customers enjoy voice, internet, digital solutions such as mobile money. With mobile money, they're able to send, receive, and make merchant payments across the country wherever they are. From now and into the future, MTN will continue leading digital solutions for Rwanda. At the core, we shall continue to expand and build upon a robust connectivity and infrastructure. Building platforms that are valuable for our customers remains a big part of our play. Mobile money, messaging apps like Ayoba, and so many more to come in the future. After all is said and done, it is all about us creating shared value for our shareholders, our stakeholders, and the communities that we serve. This starts today with our exciting announcement of Mtn Rwanda listing on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. I'll end this by saying a huge thank you to everybody who supported us in making this happen. Indeed, MTN Yachu, making Rwanda brighter together.
Can we give a big round of applause for the people who put together this video and, of course, what it has highlighted about the journey of MTN Rwandacell and, of course, the way forward. Now, we have heard all our speakers thanking the chair of the board of MTN Rwandacell PLC. I think it is time and it's only fitting that we hear from her directly. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give a big yellow welcome to Evelyn Rutagwenda. Rutagwenda, welcome to the floor.
Good morning, everybody. Our chief guest this morning, Honorable Dr. Uziel Ndagijimana, the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Honorable Paula Ingabire, the Minister of ICT and Innovation, Honorable Claire Akamanzi, CEO of Rwanda Development Board, Mr. Ralph Mopita, the event of the listing of MTN Rwandacell by introduction on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. This transaction is a result of a very good working relationship between MTN Rwandacell shareholders and all the key stakeholders to get to what we are witnessing this morning. Our chief guest, honorable ministers, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to specifically thank Mr. Pierre Celestin Rwabukumba, the CEO of Rwanda Stock Exchange, and Mr. Eric Bundugu, the acting CEO of the Capital Markets Authority, for the enormous support they accorded us throughout the process. Join me to thank them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm particularly privileged to be associated with the team that has tirelessly worked tirelessly to deliver the listing of such a strong company on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. I think you have seen how strong it is. For disclosure purposes, I was also the chair of Crystal Telecom Limited, and for the shareholders, the former shareholders of Crystal Telecom, you recall how difficult it was with the price of the CTL share hitting rock bottom really. I don't think I enjoyed those annual general meetings when I had to give. I sincerely didn't. Yeah. As you all know, MTN is a strong brand that is recognized locally and internationally. Therefore, we believe that this listing will contribute to making the Rwanda capital markets more vibrant. I wish to congratulate the investors who have become direct shareholders in MTN because your investment now has a higher value. You'll recall that previously you could only own a stake in MTN indirectly through Crystal Telecom, which came with costs of running the company and withholding tax on your dividends at both MTN and Crystal Telecom level. The ministers here present know how we fought very hard so that you don't get taxed twice, but somehow we didn't succeed. But we are there now, you won't get taxed twice. Therefore, to our investors, welcome to MTN and congratulations again. On this note, I wish the lady that Mitwa mentioned, Mama Lionel, I wish you could buy shares in MTN and become an owner. Mama Lionel, icyo nkwifuriza nuko wagira imigabane muri MTN, no nawe ukaba umushoramari muri MTN. I would also like to thank those that spared time from their busy schedules to be with us as we celebrate this listing. Special thanks go to Mr. Ralph Mopita, the Group President and CEO, Madame Yoranda Kuba, the Vice President for Southern and Eastern Africa, and all MTN Group executives here with us. We sincerely appreciate your presence. We know that there were many of you working behind the scenes. I saw Anne-Marie, who was directly involved in the listing process, and we really appreciate and are happy that you're here to witness this event. I wish to recognize a familiar face, Mr. Ebenezer Asante, whom most of you know. Ebenezer is the former CEO of MTN Rwandacell, who has walked this journey with us. When I joined the MTN board, Ebenezer had already left, but he was on the board of MTN. And together we started talking about the listing of MTN shares on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. Ebenezer, we know that you are very busy. He's a CEO of and operating one of the OPCOs, and he's currently the Vice President for Western Africa, covering 9 countries. A very busy person, but he specifically flew from Ghana to be with us today. We appreciate you, Ebenezer. As I conclude, I would like to sincerely thank our chief guest, Minister Uziel Ndagijimana, for having accepted our invitation and for gracing this occasion. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Ibyiza biri imbere, murakoze cyane.
Thank you very much, Madam Evelyn Rutagwenda. A big round of applause one more time for her. Thank you for her remarks. Turamushimira cyane kuba atugejeje ijambo ryiza natwibutsa urugendo rwe yuko yahoze ari n'umuyobozi mu kanama k'ubuyobozi ka Crystal Telecom, anavuga yuko anagaragaza imbogamizi bagiye bahura nazo, anizeza abanyamigabane bo muri MTN Rwandacell PLC kizo mbogamizi batazahura nazo. Anakomeza dushimirira cyane abayobozi bakuru ba MTN Group ku rwego mpuzamahanga nabo bagize uruhare rukomeye cyane muri intambwe yatewe uyu munsi. Ladies and gentlemen, we have heard from MTN Rwandacell PLC, we've heard from our CEO, we've heard from the chair of the board. It is only fitting that now we hear from the MTN Group, and who better to represent MTN Group than our president and CEO. Now I want that big yellow welcome one more time for none other than Mr. Ralph Mupita. Welcome on stage, sir. We're very excited to hear from you.
I think there was a comment earlier on that they've not seen such a short podium or a tall podium, and I have the inverse experience. Ladies and gentlemen, many thanks for the opportunity to speak, and minding all protocols, suffice to express my own greetings to the dignitaries we have here today, acknowledging the fact that we have our guest speaker, the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, the Minister of ICT and Innovation, CEO of the Developmental Board, CEO of the Rwanda Stock Exchange, the Acting CEO of the Capital Markets Authority, Madam Chairman, Evelyn, the CEO of MTN Rwanda. How wonderful is it that this is an institution led by women? So. And to my group colleagues and MTNers here present, shareholders, distributors, all part of the MTN ecosystem and all protocol observed, greetings from the MTN Group. I stand between you and our guest speaker, so I will just focus my remarks to three key messages. The first message is really to thank the government of Rwanda and the people of Rwanda for having welcomed MTN. Today, MTN is a company operating in 21 markets, 17 on the African continent, 4 in the Middle East, with 280 million subscribers, which would position us from just purely a subscriber point of view as one of the top 10 largest telecommunication companies in the world, and that's including the Chinese and the Indians. But that journey humbly started in terms of internationalizing the company. That started in 1997, 98. MTN Group had started at the dawn of democracy in South Africa in 1994, very focused on developing a network to enable South Africans to enjoy the benefits of connectivity, and was a very focused South African company. The first foray to becoming an international Pan-African and emerging markets operator actually was Rwanda. And we had the privilege with CEO Mitwa and the Vice President Yolanda yesterday to be in the company of His Excellency President Kagame, and also in the company of the Minister of ICT, where he gave us in detail, the detail that we would not have known because we weren't here at that stage, but he was as the Vice President, and he explained how MTN got into Rwanda and the decision criteria that really was top of mind, which was really that Rwandan nationals deserved the best technology possible. And in choosing MTN at that stage, as early as 1998, it was seen that the best of technology and the needs of the people of Rwanda will be provided by MTN. And we remain very gracious to that decision, and we remain of the view that Rwanda has a particular special place in the history of MTN, because we wouldn't have been able to be where we are today without those humble beginnings. So to our chief guest, we want to thank you again for the long history and sowing the seeds in MTN of what we can be. It started right here in Rwanda. So thank you very much again. The second message that I would like to share on behalf of the MTN Group is that MTN Group stands right behind the government and the people of Rwanda in the pursuit of Vision 2050. We have studied the Vision 2050. As many of you know, that we have a new strategy, and as part of our new strategy, we talk about creating shared value. And today is part of celebrating that shared value. And in assessing and understanding the best way we can what the aspirations of the people of Rwanda are, as embodied in Vision 2050, we see across the 5 pillars that we can play a role in every one of those pillars. The organization that we have here, MTN Rwandacell, is well positioned to support in the progress of the socio-economic development of the country and the people of Rwanda. And we believe at an MTN group point of view that everybody deserves the benefits of a modern connected life. Nobody should be left behind. And as we went through COVID, we're still going through COVID, the issue of the criticality of digital infrastructure and digital services has never ever been so clear and stark, where many people were able to switch quickly on to the internet in practicing the social distancing and the lockdown arrangements, and then there was a complete side of society that did not have access. So I think what the last 12 months have really shown us, certainly at the MTN Group, and we believe it to be true here, is we cannot leave anybody behind. We cannot create a digital underclass in any of the markets we operate in. And as much as we are focused on generating returns for shareholders, we're also very focused on creating sustainable societies. And sustainable societies means that no one gets left behind. And to all the government dignitaries that are here and all the partners for MTN Rwanda, the one message we will leave you very clearly from an MTN Group is we will do whatever it takes here in MTN Rwanda to ensure that all the people of Rwanda have connectivity, they have access to connectivity, and they have the dignity as human beings to know that they're not being left behind. So we are committing ourselves to supporting Vision 2050, and Your Excellency, in the form that the 5 pillars have been shaped with the 2 phases of the vision, the first 15 years and then the next 15 years, you can call on us at MTN here in Kigali, and you can call us wherever we are. I gave my business card to the Minister of ICT and Innovation. I said, if our CEO, you have a challenge with the CEO, please call me, and we will come and help as well, because we remain committed. So the second message I really want to convey is our support to do whatever it takes to support Vision 2050, and we will play our humble role within that pursuit. The third message is really about the event that we have today. And as I mentioned earlier on, it's part of the aspect of what we call in our strategy shared value. We cannot be prosperous as MTN without prosperous societies. And as part of that is in ensuring that we have the nation states participating in the success of MTN. We really want to make sure that as this company progresses, MTN Rwandacell progresses, ordinary citizens of Rwanda can benefit. Institutions, the institutions that drive capital formation. One of the most wonderful things in driving economic growth that you see in many developed countries is that they have deep capital markets. And part of what we're witnessing today in the young phase of the Rwanda Stock Exchange is a deepening of equity capital markets. The ability to bring in capital formation that supports the economic development of the country. And I think Rwanda is a very well-positioned country to be able to become the hub and the financial center for East Africa. The ease of doing business in Rwanda. Some other countries where we operate in might be offended if I say this is one of the best places to do business not only in Africa, but across the world. And the government of Rwanda, led by His Excellency President Kagame, must be commended for creating the infrastructure and the frameworks for investors to feel confident to place the capital in Rwanda, knowing that they have the investor protections. I think we are witnessing the beginning of a financial center revolution where I would not be surprised that Kigali leads East Africa, and as regional integration builds and we feed ourselves, into a much greater African kind of inclusion through the free trade area, I think Rwanda will play a super critical role. It will play an outside role in driving the progress of the African continent. So this listing event it may today seem like a small step, but I think we'll look back in time and see that this was the catalyst for others to come onto the stock exchange, deepen capital markets, drive more regional integration, and further expand into the African markets. And we would really also like to thank the Rwanda Stock Exchange, capital markets authorities, our advisors, our teams at MTN. I know many people had sleepless nights putting together the listing documents and preparing ourselves. But I think today is a wonderful day, not just in Kigali, but for all Africans, in seeing that we are driving the deepening of capital formation, and underpinning that drive is the focus of what this company stands for, which is to ensure that we do not leave a single person in Rwanda behind from the benefits of a modern connected life. And we at MTN will ensure that we remain supportive and behind the team that is here and the board that is here, and playing our small contribution to the socio-economic progress of Rwanda. Thank you very much for having us as MTN Group. There's a big MTN delegation. I want everybody to know that Rwanda has a particular special place in the MTN history and in its psyche and its heart, and it is here that we got our inspiration to believe we can be a Pan-African and international organization. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause one more time for Ralph Mupita, our president and CEO. Turamushimiye cyane umuyobozi mukuru wa MTN Group ku rwego mpuzamahanga, watangiye atwibutsa urugendo rwa MTN, aho MTN igeze ubu ngubu ko iri mu masoko 21 ku isi yose, 17 ari hano ku mugabane wa Afrika, ko bafite abafatabuguzi bagera kuri miliyoni 284 bamyibuka neza, ariko atwibutsa nanone ku rugendo rwatangiye muri 94 ubwo batangiraga muri Afrika y'Epfo, ubwo icyo gihugu cyari gitangiye urugendo rwa demokrasi, ko u Rwanda ari cyo gihugu cya mbere binjiyemo mu kwagura amarembo yabo muri 98. Akomeza agira yizeza ubuyobozi bwacu, leta y'u Rwanda, yuko MTN izakomeza gufatanya na leta y'u Rwanda mu cyerekezo 2050, yuko nabo bafite mu cyerekezo cyabo kuzamura umuturage usanzwe kugira ngo ubukungu bwa MTN, ubukungu bw'igihugu butagira uwo busigaza inyuma. Turamushimiye cyane. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind remarks. One more time, a big round of applause. Now, it is time for us to receive the remarks, the keynote speech from our guest of honor. He's the Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Planning. Please give him a big yellow welcome, Dr. Uziel Ndagijimana. Our guest of honor, welcome to the floor, sir.
Honorable members of the Cabinet of the Republic of Rwanda, Mr. Ralph Mupita, the MTN Group President and CEO, Mrs. Evelyn Rutagwenda, MTN Rwandacell PLC Board Chair, Mrs. Mitwa Ngambi, the MTN Rwandacell PLC CEO, CEOs and MDs here present, shareholders of MTN Rwandacell PLC, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm pleased and honored to join you this morning as we mark yet another significant milestone in Rwanda's financial sector, and particularly on the capital market of Rwanda. Congratulations to the shareholders, board of directors, and management of MTN Rwandacell PLC for listing MTN Rwandacell PLC on Rwanda Stock Exchange. Thank you for this good decision. Thank you for choosing Rwanda, especially at this particular moment where the world is facing the unprecedented pandemic, the COVID-19, and its disastrous economic consequences. This is a testimony of the confidence the leadership of MTN Group has in the Rwanda's economy, and we have no doubt that other investors will follow this good example of MTN. Thank you, MTN. This MTN Rwandacell PLC listing will contribute to the growth and deepening of our capital market. At the same time, it will provide Telecom shareholders with direct ownership of MTN Rwandacell. It will also create access for broad-based investors to participate in the growth of MTN Rwandacell PLC. Ladies and gentlemen, Rwanda has made good progress in improving its investment climate and is well ranked on the continent and globally in easing of doing business. The government of Rwanda will continue to improve further its business environment to support both local and foreign investment in line with its national strategy for transformation and its Vision 2050. Despite the negative impact of COVID-19 pandemic on our economy last year, 2020, our economy is recovering and is expected to grow at 5.1% this year, 2021, 7% in 2022, and at above 7.8% in the following years, 2023 and 2024. This outlook is also an opportunity for investment and private sector development in Rwanda. Particularly, Rwanda is already implementing its strategy of becoming an international financial center. We thank the existing players on our financial market, and we welcome new initiatives and the new investors in our financial sector. The government of Rwanda will provide you with the necessary support and incentives. I take this opportunity to call upon other companies, large, medium, and small, to also prepare for listing on Rwanda Stock Exchange. Rwanda Capital Market Authority is ready to provide you with all the necessary support in the process. Once again, I thank the leadership of MTN Group for listing on our stock exchange and for leading our telecom industry, and also for your exemplary corporate social responsibility in various sectors of our country, including in health and education. I thank you.
Twongere dushimire cyane umushyitsi wacu mukuru. Let's thank our guest of honor, Dr. Uziel Ndagijimana, turamushimira cyane ku ijambo ryiza tugejejeho, ashimira cyane MTN Group na MTN Rwandacell PLC kuba binjiye mu isoko ry'imari n'imigabane mu Rwanda, nabizeza yuko leta y'u Rwanda itazahwema kubafasha no kubashyigikira muri izo gahunda zose zo kuzahura ubukungu bwacu. By'umwihariko anabashimira ko nk'ikigo cy'ubucuruzi ko ibikorwa byabo bishyigikira cyane cyane bizamura imibereho y'abaturage, babyishimira ndetse na cyane. Twongere tumushimire cyane n'amashyi menshi yayandi bita ayurufaya. Thank you very much to our guest speaker. Continue the applause as we thank all our speakers from the Rwanda Stock Exchange, from the Capital Market Authority, from MTN Rwandacell PLC, and of course from MTN Group, and of course once again our keynote speaker, our guest of honor, Dr. Uziel Ndagijimana. This concludes this part of the ceremony, but ladies and gentlemen, we are not done with you yet, because in a moment we'll be sharing some very delectable food. Now, before we get there, I want to thank the people who were watching us live as we were streaming on YouTube. I want to thank them for having been with us. I want to encourage them to always be with us and encourage you all and remind you that everywhere you go, our MTN Yachu, is ready to serve you and give you the kind of service you deserve. Please give yourselves a big, big round of applause. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. This is me signing off for now. Now, I would like to kindly invite you to rise up. I will ask our CEO to please invite our guests to the lounge area where we have prepared a brunch to be shared here, so you can get your brunch from there and come back here, and we'll continue to mingle. And thank you so, so very much. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you for being here this morning.
Everywhere you go, MTN.